Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take your source material, unpack it, and really pull out the most important nuggets of knowledge and insight for you. Today, we're plunging into, well, a truly thrilling and pretty complex narrative. It's from a book you shared with us. This United State by Colin Forbes came out in 1999. So, our mission, what we're trying to do in this deep dive, is basically untangle this really dense web. You've got international intrigue, secret operations, and frankly, some genuinely shocking betrayals. You've given us this rich tapestry, loads of characters, plot twists, and we're going to help you navigate it all, connect the dots, reveal the hidden stuff happening behind the scenes. Think of it as your shortcut to being deeply informed about this world where, honestly, nothing is quite what it seems.
Indeed. It's a really captivating look at how incidents that seem completely isolated can actually be part of a much bigger coordinated scheme. We'll explore the motivations behind it all, the sophisticated tools they're using, and just the sheer audacity of the players involved.
Yeah.
Hopefully give you an understanding that goes way beyond just the surface level action. All right, let's dive right in then. So our story kicks off with a pretty chilling alert. We hear about a wolf pack of professional thugs, they're called Top Guns, infiltrating Britain from the U.S. That's quite a move, isn't it?
It really is. And what's immediately striking is the precision and the resourcefulness of it.
How are they doing it, and who are they after?
Well, the sources indicate their preferred route is flying from Washington, D.C. to Paris first.
Okay.
Then they switch to the Eurostar, the train, into the U.K., probably assuming, fewer checks that way.
Makes sense.
And they're dressed the part, too. This contemporary businessman's uniform, black suits, flash ties. And crucially, they're using American diplomatic passports.
Diplomatic passports.
Oh, wow.
And get this, the suits themselves. They were actually bought in the UK first, then flown to the States, specifically for these guys to wear coming back.
Okay, that level of detail is unnerving. It speaks volumes about the planning.
Absolutely. It signals a level of planning that's, well, beyond your typical covert op.
So who's the target? Who's this meticulous operation aimed at?
Their target is a man named Cord Dillon. He's an ex-deputy director of the CIA.
Ah, high profile then.
Very. Apparently, he knew too much about some kind of huge operation. He gets ambushed right there on Albemarle Street in London.
Wow.
And the fact that someone like Dillon, with his experience, is immediately vulnerable, that tells you right from the start they're up against a really formidable, deeply resourced adversary.
Okay, so Dylan's life is clearly on the line, and he survives the ambush, but where does he go? He's whisked away, right?
Yeah.
To this safe house in Kent, the bunker.
That's right, the bunker.
What is this place? It sounds like just a farmhouse, but it's obviously much more.
Oh, much more. It's really a masterclass in deception and defense. From the outside, yeah, it looks like a tumble-down farmhouse.
Right.
But inside, it's a high-security fortress. We're talking a solid steel plate on the inside of the main door, armor-plated glass hidden behind the window shutters.
Serious stuff.
Very serious. And an electric tripwire system all around the hedges. It doesn't just buzz, it tells you which sector the intrusion is in. Plus, it's got its own generator and a backup for the backup.
Incredible, and there's someone running it, Mrs. Carson.
Yes, Mrs. Carson.
Yeah.
Described as a small, plump woman in her 50s. Looks like your typical farmer's wife.
But she's not, is she?
Not even close. She's actually ex-SDAS trained, proficient with a Heckler & Koch MP5 that's a 9mm submachine gun.
Wow.
And she has access to this huge underground armory.
Oh.
Handguns, machine guns, smoke bombs, grenades. It's all hidden in these modernized old smuggler's cellars.
Smuggler cellars. That
Yeah.
adds another layer. And she uses, wait, what was it? A mini water cannon?
She does. A miniature water cannon to deter intruders. It's almost comical, but deadly serious in context.
That detail, the water cannon, it just perfectly captures it, doesn't it? This blend of quaint English countryside and hardcore covert capability.
It really does. It highlights the ingenuity needed for deep, undetectable security when you're facing such a powerful, pervasive threat. And those smuggling tunnels, they go right down to the sea. Hints at a long history of hidden operations there.
Okay, so Dylan is relatively safe for now in the bunker, guarded by Mrs. Carson and her water cannon. But back in Washington, things are shifting. A new player emerges, Ed Osborne. He's called a roughneck, and he's taken Dylan's old job.
That's right. Ed Osborne, new deputy director of the CIA.
What's his deal? And he's setting up some new organization in London.
Yeah, Osborne is described as a tough guy, dangerous. And he's establishing something called the Executive Action Department, the EAD, right inside the American Embassy in London.
Executive Action Department. Sounds ominous.
It's shrouded in mystery. Nobody knows its real purpose.
Yeah.
And that causes a lot of unease for Tweed's team, the British side we're following. They actually speculate it could even mean, well, execution.
Chilling. And wasn't there something else about spin doctors?
Yes, exactly. At the same time, a whole team of top-flight spin doctors arrive at the embassy. These aren't government people. They're recruited from private industry. Experts in TV, radio, the internet. Implying a serious propaganda or, brainwashing operation aimed at influencing public opinion. So it immediately adds this psychological dimension. It's not just about physical threats anymore.
Right, controlling perceptions, not just people. And speaking of threats, things escalate badly in London, don't they? The sources detail these horrific bombings.
They do. Oxford Street, the Mount Pleasant sorting office, a major department store in Knightsbridge. Lots of casualties. Just awful attacks.
And at the same time, the British Prime Minister is assassinated while visiting the States. The official line points to an IRA splinter group.
But the sources heavily hint that maybe those top-flight spin doctors were involved somehow. It's all very murky.
How does this connect back to the Americans, to Osborne and the EAD? Is there pushback on investigating them?
Oh, absolutely. This is where the conspiracy really starts to feel high level. Chief Inspector Roy Buchanan, who's investigating, gets told point blank, lay off the Americans.
By who?
By his superiors. Even the commissioner himself subtly tells him not to investigate the Albemarle Street incident, Dillon's attempted assassination, or another incident where a British agent, Newman, rammed an embassy car. He's basically told to use his own judgment, meaning don't dig deeper.
Wow. Political pressure, clearly.
Definitely. And then they identify the Oxford Street bomber, Vernon Kolkowski. A tall, thin guy, hard face. And guess where he's based?
Let me guess. The American embassy.
Bingo. Based at the embassy, carrying diplomatic passports. It's a huge link.
And then there's this phantom character.
Yes, the Phantom. Interpol suggests this shadowy figure killed a German official, Keller, and a French minister, rumored to be an Englishman. Later, forensic evidence matching bullets links the Phantom to the assassination of the British PM and another victim, Sir Guy Strangeways, and also to a woman named Juliette Leroy, murdered over in Switzerland.
So you've got this high-level political pressure to look away from the Americans, you've got embassy personnel planting bombs, and this untraceable assassin, the Phantom, taking out key figures across Europe.
Exactly. It paints this picture of a really profound conspiracy with tentacles reaching everywhere.
Okay, so the action shifts. Our characters, Tweed's team, they end up crossing Europe, right? London, Switzerland, Germany, chasing leads, sometimes running for their lives. What takes them to Basel in Switzerland?
Well, it seems to follow the money trail and also the hidden logistics of the operation. Tweed's team, Paula, Newman, Marler, they fly into Basel.
And the Americans are there, too.
They are. Sharon Mandeville will hear more about her later. Ed Osborne, the EAD guy, and another operative named Jake Ronstadt. They're all staying in the top hotels there. It shows the American operation is active in Basel, too.
What do they uncover there? Something about money disappearing?
Precisely. At the Zürcher Credit Bank, millions of dollars belonging to Ronstadt are made to, well, disappear into thin air, vanish.
Oh.
It's done by a banker named Keith Kent, who specializes in these financial conjuring tricks. He specifically targets Ronstadt's funds, which basically cripples his side's immediate operations, throws a real wrench in their works.
And a brilliant countermove. And there's something about barges.
Yes, a crucial warning comes from an informant, Kurt Schwartz. Just before he's silenced, he warns them, be very careful of the barges. And he specifically mentions one called the Minotaur.
The Minotaur? What is it?
It's this large vessel on the Rhine River.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like it's been converted into a sort of pleasure craft, even playing music, the Blue Danube Waltz, apparently. But Schwartz's warning makes Tweed very suspicious.
Okay, so the Minotaur becomes the focus. Tweed and the Swiss police, led by a Chief Beck, decide to intercept it. What's the plan?
Beck's initial plan is pretty standard. He intends to board and arrest everyone for carrying drugs, just a pretext, really. He fully expects them to just flash diplomatic passports and claim immunity.
But Tweed suspects more.
Much more. He senses a trap or something deeper. He tells his own team, Paula and Newman, to be ready for an emergency.
What happens when they intercept the barge?
It's dramatic. The barge suddenly explodes, violently. There was only a helmsman aboard, and he manages to escape just before the blast.
So it was empty. A trap.
Essentially, yes.
Huh?
Later confirmed. No passengers. The bomb was detonated remotely by radio signal, but the explosion reveals the real cargo.
Which was?
A huge section of a printing press. a massive, heavy printing machine with a slab of concrete attached to its base to weigh it down, and brilliantly forged British banknotes. Thousands of them, scattered by the explosion.
Oh, wow. So that was the purpose. Not drugs, not passengers. Counterfeiting.
Exactly. This is a pivotal aha moment. It reveals the true, staggering scale of the operation. Financial warfare, using a barge disguised as a pleasure craft to transport counterfeiting equipment. The audacity is incredible. It's about collapsing the British economy.
An economic weapon. That changes everything. And around the same time, this murder happens. Juliette Leroy in Saint Urson.
Yes, that ties back to the Phantom. She's strangled by a man pretending to be blind who asked to come into her house for water.
Horrible. How do they know it's the Phantom?
He leaves behind a clue, a unique coat button shaped like the Statue of Liberty's torch. This identifies him as Leo Madison, the same man, the Phantom, who killed the Prime Minister and Sir Guy Strangeways. It just reinforces how cunning and ruthless this operative is, blending in, striking unexpectedly, and it firmly links the assassinations into this wider, multi-pronged attack.
Okay, so the barge reveals the counterfeiting plot. Does the trail lead anywhere from there? You mentioned the informant, Kurt Schwartz. His last word was Schwartz.
Right. Schwartz means black in German.
Mhm.
And that clue points them towards the Black Forest in Germany.
Another remote location. What do they find there?
They track the source down near Schlucksee, which is this remote lake. Again, deception is key. It looks like an ancient mansion from the outside.
But it's not.
No, it's actually a huge, modern garage hidden behind the old facade. And inside, that's the main base. The source of the forged banknotes, the rest of the printing machines. The source described as far more deadly than bombs.
So they have to take it out.
They do. Marler, who's an ex-racing driver and good with technical stuff, leads the assault. They use thermite bombs, high explosives. The whole place goes up in a massive explosion.
Yeah.
Banknotes, bits of printing press, everything raining down into the lake.
Effectively ending the counterfeiting threat then.
Yes. That sequence really ties up the financial warfare aspect. And that phrase, far more deadly than bombs, really hammers home. The true objective wasn't just terror, but economic collapse.
But while Tweed's team is dealing with the forgery base in Germany, something even bigger, something truly massive, is brewing across the Atlantic. What's this monster crisis?
This is where the scale just becomes mind-boggling. It reveals the sheer power and resources the American side, or whoever is pulling their strings, is willing to deploy in this story. We learn about Rear Admiral Joseph Honeywood, nicknamed Cragg. He's commanding this gigantic aircraft carrier, the USS President. 110,000 tons, crew of 6,500 armed with nuclear missiles.
A carrier group heading for Britain.
Exactly, a huge fleet escorting it, including U.S. Navy SEALs aboard these fast, amphibious landing craft they call crabs.
Crabs, that's descriptive.
Isn't it? Gives you this unsettling image, and their objective is crystal clear. Great Britain, the English Channel off Portsmouth. Specifically, they're targeting a secret communications center on Romney Marsh.
Romney Marsh, wait, that's where the bunker is.
Precisely. The Pentagon's plan, as stated in the source, is to stun the Brits out of their skulls with this sudden, overwhelming arrival and assault on the bunker.
This is insane. A full-scale U.S. military operation aimed at this hidden farmhouse in Kent. The stakes are just astronomical now.
Absolutely. From seemingly isolated incidents to this, an impending invasion force.
So Tweed and his team, they must realize what's coming. How on earth do they prepare the bunker for an attack by U.S. Navy SEALs?
It really becomes this incredible David versus Goliath situation, but filled with espionage tech and sheer grit. Mrs. Carson obviously is key. Her knowledge of the bunker's defenses is immense.
Right, the tripwires, the armor plating.
Exactly. Plus Cord Dillon is there, the ex-CIA guy they rescued. And they mobilize Alf's mob, which turns out to be this surprisingly effective group of Gulf War veterans, now taxi drivers.
Taxi drivers fighting SEALs.
Apparently. Gulf War vets, though. And Marler brings in upgrades, too. Redesigned aerials for better reception, mobile searchlights brought over from another safe house, even star shells for illumination.
How do they even communicate during a battle?
They use mobile phones, but fitted with special amplifiers designed to cut through the noise of gunfire and explosions. Very clever. They set up defensive positions, covering all the sectors around the farmhouse, A through G. It's all about ingenuity and local knowledge against overwhelming force.
Okay, the stage is set. The SEALs arrive in their crabs. Describe the battle. How does it go down?
It's intense. Multiple crabs land on the beach, each carrying about 10 men. So you're looking at maybe 50 highly trained SEALs assaulting the farmhouse.
Against Mrs. Carson, Dylan, and the taxi drivers.
Pretty much. The SEAL commander orders an initial barrage, heavy automatic fire, but aimed mostly at the fields around the house, maybe to suppress, maybe to intimidate. Then one SEAL makes a critical mistake. He tries to cross the tripwire hedge by climbing over the body of another SEAL who went down, and he gets impaled on hidden defenses.
Gruesome.
Right.
What about Mrs. Carson?
She's right in the thick of it. Using her MP5 submachine gun, coordinating with Paula, who's operating one of Marler's mobile searchlights to pinpoint targets in the dark.
And the turning point.
The turning point comes thanks to Marler again. He manages to hit crab number 5 with explosives. And crucially, crab number 5 wasn't just carrying troops. It was packed with explosives, intended to completely demolish the bunker.
Ah, so they plan to level the place.
Absolutely. But Marler turns their own weapon against them. The explosion of crab number 5 is massive. It takes out a huge chunk of the attacking SEAL force.
Devastating for the attackers.
Utterly. The sources say over half the SEAL attack force was wiped out in that blast and the ensuing firefight. After that, Tweed gives the order, ceasefire.
They just let them go.
They do. The remaining SEALs collect their dead and wounded, get back in the surviving crabs, and retreat. Head back to the carrier group offshore. The defense held.
Incredible. Just absolutely incredible. But the fight isn't truly over until they know why. In the aftermath, the biggest piece falls into place, doesn't it? The ultimate reveal.
Yes. This is where everything connects. Sharon Mandeville, the American woman who is in Basel, she arrives at the bunker after the battle. In a black stretch limo, acting very erratically.
Sharon Mandeville. She was with Osborne, right?
Yes. Tweed confronts her directly.
Uh-huh.
But he doesn't call her Sharon. He calls her Charlie.
Charlie?
Turns out her middle name is Charlotte. And then her assistant, a woman named Denise Chattel, drops a bombshell. She reveals Sharon was involved in her own father's death back in Virginia, a supposed car crash that was clearly murder.
Oh my God. So Sharon, Charlie, she's behind this.
That's the implication. And when confronted, Sharon just loses it. Her calm facade shatters completely into what's described as insane rage. She basically confesses her entire ambition. She's on a path, she says, to become a U.S. senator and then president in the Oval Office.
President.
That's her goal. She admits she's been using everyone at Osborne, the EAD, the military, even a lawyer named Joshua Warren who helped her profit from her divorces. She's being backed by a powerful senator, Grant, who apparently blackmailed her main political rival out of the race.
So everyone, the bombings, the Phantom, the counterfeiting, the SEAL attack, it was all just pieces on her chessboard, pawns in her game to get to the White House.
That's exactly how she sees it. Everyone is just a pawn to be used and discarded in her relentless drive for ultimate power. Geopolitics, international incidents, hundreds of lives, all just collateral damage in her personal ambition.
That is terrifyingly chilling. The scale of the deception, the ruthlessness, all for personal power.
It really is the ultimate aha moment. It connects every single thread, the violence, the finance, the military action, back to this one individual's psychopathic ambition.
So, wrapping this up, what does it all really mean? We've explored this fictional world, yes, but the themes. International politics, covert ops, personal ambition, all tangled up, creating this massive global crisis. You go from a fortified farmhouse in Kent to an exploding barge on the Rhine, a hidden forgery base in the Black Forest, culminating in a full-blown naval invasion threat.
Yeah.
And the root cause, or a huge part of it, is one person's burning desire for the presidency.
Yeah, this deep dive really peels back the layers, doesn't it? It shows how deception and, maybe more disturbingly, intensely personal motives can drive events with enormous, world-shaking consequences. It really makes you think, doesn't it? Even in our own world, what hidden agendas, what individual ambitions might be quietly pulling the strings beneath the headlines we read every day. How much of the bigger picture is shaped by things we never see?
That is a truly unsettling thought to leave you with. Definitely something to chew on. Join us next time on The Deep Dive for another journey into being well-informed.